Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. I am super happy to be with you today. And before we dive in, I just wanted to let you know that something exciting is coming up. I'll be hosting an Akashic Records workshop in early June, on June 6th. Through my friend Katie's Transformation Center. So it'll be an online workshop held virtually. And this is the first time I'm offering something like this. So I have a lot of good things in store. I'll be sharing a transmission specific to that group of people from the Akashic Records. And we'll be doing some somatic practices, some visualization exercises. And the thing I'm most excited to share with you is a guided Akashic Records journey. So it'll be a way for you to experience receiving from the Akashic Records directly. And I'll be guiding everyone in that workshop to do that. That way, you can come into a state of receptivity where you can kind of have your own direct experience with the records and with your own wisdom. So if that sounds fun to you, you can find more about that and see when it is, where it is, it's on Zoom, and how to sign up. You can find all of that at the link in my bio. I'll put that link there and I'll share it on my story too. So yeah, if that calls to you, I invite you to check it out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm excited to see what the records have for us today. And as I'm tuning into the records, feel free, if it's safe and accessible, to kind of just settle into wherever you are right now. If you're in the middle of doing something else, then I encourage you to pay attention to whatever it is that you're doing. But if it's safe, if you're able to, you could close your eyes. Notice where your breath is at right now. See if deepening it would feel good. If an exhale perhaps is long overdue. Sometimes we all hold our breath. Just settle in. Okay, so today the topic that's kind of alive in the records is what to do when we know we'll be entering a stressful situation. So sometimes, life arrives, life happens to us, and we don't really know that stress is gonna be there. It's kind of just, we have to deal with it in real time. But there are other times where we can kind of see it coming. We know that maybe we have a deadline at work, or a big project is coming up, or perhaps we have people coming over to visit and we know that it'll be a little bit taxing on us, or maybe we're going to see some folks and it's creating like a little bit of stress. So if you know that a stressful situation is going to happen, what do we do in those instances? And the records are saying you can build a reservoir of calmness that almost acts like a cushion inside of you, so that when the stress kind of arrives and enters you, your system, your bubble, there's a softer landing, right? So you could almost think about it like they're showing like the Michelin Man. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but this like big, like fluffy marshmallow guy. So it's like kind of building yourself up to have a little bit of a cushion. So when life comes at you, when stress comes at you, it's got something to land on softly. It's not like hitting your skin yourself directly, instantly, as soon as the stress comes. It's like there's a little bit of space, and it's almost like if we have a little bit of cushion, you could think about this energetically too, having like a little bit of a energetic padding around you, if you want to think about it visually. But really, it's almost like if you imagined like if, I don't know, like someone like flung a rubber band at you and something was coming at you, a little projectile was coming at you, we could think of that as the stress. If you have a cushion, then when that thing lands, it slows down, and it's the space. So if it's coming in, it's the space of like that cushion, it slows it down. And what is happening is it's actually increasing the time of impact. So the time, and this is also physics. So yeah, when something makes contact with something else, if you can increase the time of impact, the amount of time that it's actually connecting with the other object, it reduces the charge, or it reduces the amount of force that you experience, that the second body or the object coming into contact, that it experiences. So if you think about it, metaphorically, whatever, or the Michelin Man, if something hits the Michelin Man, there's like a lot of cushion for that thing to increase the time of impact, to soften the blow, to soften it out. So it's not striking it really hard and really quickly and kind of giving you a shock. It's not a lot of force. Again, it's just a slow impact, right? It's coming in. There's space for that to land gently. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's what they're saying, is we can kind of build up our reservoir of calmness, our cushion, our energetic cushion beforehand, so that when we arrive at the stressful situation, when that moment is upon us, we have a little bit of padding, right? And it's not like we're just out there in raw contact with everything that happens. You could also think of it like if actually, I might pause on that. I spent a lot of time on the the Michelin Man, so I'm like, let's move into the next piece. So how can we do this? How can we build a reservoir of calmness? And I'll give you 3 guesses. One thing we can do is pull in, lean into our personal practice. And that could be meditation, that could be something else. But really leaning into our practice, almost more so than normal, right? So it's like spending more time in that oasis of calmness that is the practice, kind of fueling up, right? Packing up your backpack, or filling up this cushion, inflating this like little cushion of energy, of spaciousness around you, building your awareness, really spending more time intentionally coming into your center, so that when the stress happens, you have a little bit of a buffer. And there are other ways to do this too, but a simple thing, a simple principle, whether, no matter what your practice is, a simple principle you can take with you is, do you feel resourced? Right? And so having a personal practice, a meditation practice, is something that helps us resource ourselves, helps us put us in contact with our own center, with our peace, right? The place where we kind of gain our energy from. But too, as you move throughout the day, in the days or hours or whatever leading up to the stressful moment, are you taking care of yourself? And the records and I have talked about this so many times, but it really is it's a simple way to increase that buffer. So if you know something stressful is going to happen, are you eating? Are you drinking enough water? Are you sleeping as much as you're able to and as much as is appropriate, right? Not oversleeping necessarily. I don't know how many people really oversleep in today's day, but like, Are you feeling rested? So it's like, can you touch in with these like moments of resourcing throughout the day? Right? And that another simple way to resource is breathing, taking a full breath throughout the day. And really all that's doing, these simple things that we all know to do, just being more aware of them, kind of pulling them in more intentionally than we normally would when we're about to go into a stressful situation. That way you're not going into it hungry, you're not going into it thirsty, you're not going into it out of breath, literally out of oxygen. You're not going into it tired and like grumpy. So all of those things, just simple basic physical needs, all of those things increase your cushion. It increases your reservoir of calmness. And so meeting those physical needs and upholding, leaning into, maybe spending a few extra minutes in your personal practice if you're able to, in those moments when you know you'll be in a stressful situation. Those are all things that you can do to kind of increase that little buffer, increase your reservoir of calmness. So when you meet that situation, you're not running on empty, right? There's something to draw from. There's energy, there's internal resources to draw from, and you're not arriving stressed out to a stressful situation, right? So it's doing as much as you can beforehand to really resource yourself, to really increase that buffer. I feel like this one was a little bit repetitive, but they really wanted to just make that point of like, this is stuff that you can do. These are simple things you can do to just, arrive at a calmer state to a stressful thing instead of arriving already activated to an activating situation. Okay. And of course, this is all stuff that I teach. So if you're wanting more practical tools, things you can do to kind of resource yourself other than just the basic physical needs, if you want tools to kind of build up that sense of calmness, those are all things that I teach in my one-on-one work. So you can always use that as a resource too. And if you want some guidance, that's there for you. All right. So that's where I'm going to leave you for today. I hope that landed. I'd love to know what you think of this. Again, it's simple, kind of practical messages from the records. Okay. That's all for today. I'm wishing you well until next time. Namaste.